Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GH Gospel Radio, and welcome to your show, Let's Talk Marriage. Tonight's discussion is pretty interesting. We're talking about surviving hard times in marriage. We've already established that when you get married, it's for the rest of your life. So, it being for the rest of your life, that's a long, long time. And anything that takes a long time, there are bound to be challenges along the way. And nobody likes hard times. It's not fun to be having hard times, but they do happen anyway. And sometimes you don't know what to do. And so it's always good to prepare. It's always good to have some backup plans so that in case you should go through hard times, you know what to do. Because trust me, it's very hard to think on your feet when you are in hard times. So it's better that you prepare before you hit hard times so that when the hard times come, that will not be the time that you are looking for solutions. You would already have some plans that you can depend on to survive the hard times. So that is what we are going to explore this evening. And as always, I would love that you send in your contributions and you type in your questions so that we can all have a discussion. And if you have an experience you want to share with us, well, type quickly, type something small. We will read your comments and then we will add it to the show. So, when we talk about hard times, what really are hard times in marriage? There are so many things that could create hard times for any couple. And one of the things could be job loss. One of the things could be like physical separation. Maybe one of you has to travel for a job, or maybe one of you gets a job somewhere else and then they need to leave. And especially when you have children, you don't want one partner not being around. You wish that both of you would be there because it's so difficult taking care of children by yourself, especially when you don't have help. So if you have to be physically separated, it's not fun. And to be honest, how are you able to say that you're a married couple if one person lives in one place and the other lives somewhere else? Sometimes it's lonely, sometimes it's heartbreaking. And the best thing would be that both of you are together all the time. Separation, especially when you don't know how long it's going to last, can be very challenging. Of course, you can decide to travel for a short while, go get some business done. Whenever you're ready, you come back. That is not that is not painful separation, and that's willful separation, and you can control it. If you go and you get tired, you can cut the trip short and come back. But there are some situations where you can help it. Especially, let's talk about long distance relationships, especially like your partner lives in Africa, let's say Ghana, and you live here in America. You're trying to sort immigration issues out so that your partner can join you. Hey, Mami Nikwe, it's nice to see you. You're welcome. Maybe you're trying to get your partner to join you, but the immigration issues are not moving as fast as they need to move. And also, it's like you cannot determine how fast these things should go. There may be times that you think that you've done everything you need to do and your partner should be here as soon as possible, but it doesn't work out that way and it causes a lot of heartache. Those are hard times. Those times where you wish you could see your children grow up, but you have to stay here and work and maybe go see your family like 1 month out of the whole year. Sometimes you go and you're coming back and you feel so nostalgic. You don't want to leave. You wish you could live together, but immigration issues are not sorted out yet. So you are having to have a long distance marriage. Those are hard times. Sometimes if you are not careful, you'll be tempted so bad. Somebody will come into your life to try to help you. By the time you are aware, infidelity is setting in, and all kinds of complications. Those are hard times. And we already talked about job loss. Job loss can be especially stressful because we depend on income to survive. Every month you pay bills, every month you have needs, you would eat, the children would eat, and all kinds of things. Your finances affect how your life goes. If you are able to have as much food as you want, and all of a sudden you have to cut back, it's not easy. If you're able to do the things that you needed to do, and all of a sudden you cannot do them anymore, that's challenging. And sometimes you don't know that you're going to go into hard times, and then it happens all of a sudden. So it's like you are just overwhelmed all at once, and then you have to scramble. And we all know that bereavement, any close member of your family dying, can be really, really tough. And it's extremely tough if it's your partner. God forbid that anybody's partner would die whilst you're young. But even if it's not your partner, any family member, because Africans, we sort of have to rely on each other for insurance. Like when there's a bereavement, the burial and everything comes out of our pockets. So even if it's not your spouse or your child, you still have to make financial contributions. But that one is not even as difficult as when is your spouse or your child. May God forever forbid that any of such things happen to any of us, that we all die at a ripe old age, and we will never die before our time. So some of the things that causes hard times is also illness. You and your partner, you're enjoying your life, and then out of nowhere, chronic illness attacks one of you. Somebody who used to walk and go about their duties, all of a sudden they are sick, and you have to be the caregiver. A lot of times people can sympathize or empathize with the one who is sick. But sometimes the one who is forgotten is the one who is doing the caregiving, taking care of a sick person. Because a lot of times that person can get really tired, that person can get overwhelmed, that person can be in pain watching the partner being sick. But it seems like everybody thinks about the one who is sick and forgets about the one who is doing the caregiving. And sometimes people don't even consider that the person doing the caregiving needs a break. And to be honest, the person who is sick is already going through a tough time. Their life has been turned upside down. They feel inadequate. They feel insufficient. They've lost income. They may be in pain. And sometimes they themselves may also be feeling like they've become a burden, and that they wish they were healed so that things will get back to normal. And some people also even hate being dependent on others. So you can see that it can be all sorts of difficulty and all sorts of hard times. So those are one of the times that a marriage could be going through hard times. Another thing that can happen for a marriage to go through hard times is loss of affection for each other. Sometimes a couple will be there, they don't know what happened, but it's like they just don't feel the love for each other anymore. It's as if that their marriage is dry, or they're going through a period where they don't even see why they should be married anymore. And sometimes it may be complicated by infidelity. Maybe the man has gotten too close to some woman at the job or something, or maybe the woman has gone to meet the ex-boyfriend and they are starting to reignite their feelings. So it's like they become annoyed with each other, and they begin to find excuses why they are not good for each other. Or sometimes people simply grow apart. It's like you begin to think that you don't know the one you got married to, and that you don't think you're good for each other anymore. So you can see we have a tall list of different situations that can cause hard times in marriage. There are some people that one partner can get up and say, "Hey, I want a divorce." What are you going to do? Especially when you're blindsided, nothing was going wrong, all of a sudden, one partner wants a divorce. And it's like you've knit your lives close together, you've put everything together. And in fact, it's like even when the both of you can take care of each other, like can take care of yourselves, separating assets, separating children, trying to figure out how to even when you go through a divorce, you even have to share your friends. There are some friends that will stick to the man, and there are some friends that will stick to the woman. It's like people take sides. And there's nothing simple about divorce. Divorce can be really traumatic. And it's been said that divorce can be like bereavement, like somebody died, just that nobody is dead. You can see the person, but you're feeling like somebody died and you're going through heartbreak and heartache. Also, when you're facing infertility issues, you're trying to have a child, you tried so hard, you've done whatever it is that you're supposed to do, but you're not getting pregnant. That can be a very difficult situation for the marriage to go through. So now that we have established so many situations in which a marriage can have hard times, let's explore some of the ways in which you can survive hard times, because like we said, it happens to every marriage at some point in time. There is no marriage that is that's going to have it smooth sailing and rosy all the time. There is always one thing or another happening in the marriage. So it is very essential that every married person is able to find their own toolkit for how to survive hard times. You need to be able to have something with you that will help you navigate hard times when they happen, because they happen to everybody. Nobody has a perfect marriage. And the funny thing is that sometimes those couple that you see and in your heart you're like, oh, I really want to be like this couple. They have everything made. They're so good together. Everything is rosy for them. Maybe the reason you think everything is rosy for them is because they haven't shared their story with you. But if everybody is to tell you everything that is going on with them, you would know that no marriage is perfect. But some people survive better than others because some people plan better than others, and some people have a better toolkit which they use regularly. And because of that, their marriages are the better for it, and they are more able to survive hard times. So the hard times will come, but whether you go through it smiling and strong, or whether you go through it broken and sad, it's what we are trying to discuss right now. There are some marriages that after they've gone through a hard time, they're not even able to survive anymore because the hard time traumatizes the marriage. It breaks something beyond repair. And after they've been through that season of hard time, the marriage is not able to survive anymore. I pray that that will not be the lot of anybody listening to this message. So let's dive in. How do you survive hard times? And here on GH Gospel Radio, we've said over and over again that marriage is not just between a man and a woman. Marriage is between a man, a woman, and God. God is the third person in every marriage that makes the marriage work. And if a woman does not know God, or if a man does not know God in their marriage, it makes their marriage like a little bit shaky. People can get married without being Christians, and even some Christians may not be intimate with God. So your relationship with God will affect how you go through hard times. If you are not somebody who has a relationship with God, that you can talk to God for yourself, that you know God for yourself, that you build some intimacy with God, that you know when God is speaking to you, you know how to seek the face of God, you know how to run to God. You've prayed to God several times and God has answered your prayers, and therefore you know that God is there for you and He answers you when you call. If your relationship with God is weak, you will definitely be struggling during hard times, because for us Christians, our biggest weapon is prayer, and our biggest support, provider, protector, and our everything is God. So, as a married couple, when you're going through hard times, the first and the best thing to do is to run to God, is to pour your heart out to God, because God answers prayer. And just by reason of being Christians, you should expect that hard times will find you. Jesus Christ plainly told us that we will, in this world, we will have trouble. But we should be of good cheer because He has overcome the world. So have your prayer closet ready. Don't only pray when you have hard times, but maintain your relationship with God, maintain your intimacy with God, because that is the rock. That is the first place you run to when you're going through hard times. And one sweet thing that I know is that God prepares you for hard times. He can tell you the things to do ahead of time. Let's look at how He prepared the Egyptians for the famine that happened. God gave somebody a dream that there are going to be 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. So, when the years of abundance come, save up. That is what God did through Joseph. The king asked Joseph, so what must we do? The dream says there'll be 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. What should we do? And Joseph quickly said, find somebody who can organize the people to save during the hard times, so that when during the prosperous times, so that when the hard times come, it will be easier for them to survive. And like we all know that Bible story, the Egyptians ended up being the ones to supply the neighboring communities and everyone with corn. And they themselves never had any lack, even though there was famine everywhere. And we all know how Joseph's brothers had to go to Egypt to get corn. What's the moral of the story? God actually prepares us for hard times. So when you keep your relationship with God intimate, when you keep praying to God daily, having a personal relationship with God, sometimes God warns you when something is about to happen, and He prepares you. He tells you what to do, so that even when the hard times come, they don't come and meet you unprepared. They come and meet you standing, and they leave you standing as well. So if there's anything that will help you through hard times, it's having a strong personal relationship with God. And sometimes you realize that the hard times may be between the two of you. There may be times that husband and wife cannot even stand together. It's like your husband is being a problem to you, or your wife is being a problem to you. And that is why it's important that even having a relationship with God as a couple may not be enough. In fact, it will not be enough. You have to have your personal relationship with God so that even if your partner is not cooperative, at least you alone can fast by yourself. You alone can pray by yourself. You alone can pray for the marriage until things settle down and you have victory over the hard times. So, if there's any one thing that will help you through hard times, it is a personal relationship with God and prayer. This would help you tremendously. Another thing that you can do if or when you go through hard times is to be strong and stand firm. Sometimes the only way through hard times is through it. You'll be uncomfortable for a time. You'll be uncomfortable for a season, but you don't have to give up. You have to stand strong. You have to hold on firmly. Hello, Pastor Favor. Pastor Favor says, I've prayed, I've believed, I've trusted, still not seen anything. What do I do, please? Pastor Favor, your question is right on time because we are talking about the fact that sometimes after you've done all you can do is stand firm. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord. That's what the Israelites were told when they were met with the Egyptians chasing them to the Red Sea. There was Egyptians on one side and there was a Red Sea on the other side, and the Israelites were stuck in between. And their message was, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord this day. And what did God do? He parted the Red Sea. Sometimes when you're going through hard times, God doesn't come through immediately. He lets you stay there for a while. And there'll be times that you can't see the solution coming. And that is when your faith and your trust should come through. God does not answer us according to our timeline. God answers us according to his timeline. So there'll be times that we have to wait on the Lord. We have to stay in prayer and wait to hear from God. After you've done everything that you believe you have to do, hold on and trust God. Trust God always. Because if you can trust God that, hey, he's in control and he's going to bring you through, you will never be disappointed because God has never disappointed anybody before. Sometimes we human beings, we run out of patience, we run out of faith, we think that it's over. And so we move on and do our own thing. But if you're going to trust God and hold on for a minute, you will see God's answer. Let's look at Job. God used Job to boast and told the devil, have you seen my servant Job? And Job got in trouble for doing absolutely nothing. In fact, God instigated the devil to torment Job. Job could have cursed God and died because his wife advised him, curse God and die. And it didn't even stop. The devil went back to God and said, you see, it's because you're protecting Job that he's not giving up on you. Pastor Favor says amen. Yes, amen to that. It's like God says, hey, it's because the Satan said, it's because you protected Job that he's not giving up on you. And God said, okay, go try harder. Make sure you don't touch his soul. You can touch his body, but don't touch his soul. So things got even worse for Job. But Job never gave up his trust in God. So sometimes, and Mamini Kwe also says, how do you stand firm when all is not working? Mamini Kwe, that's what we are answering right now. We said, hold on a little longer until you hear from God. Sometimes we are in a hurry to get our answers, but learn from Job. Job did not immediately try to find a solution. Job went through pain Job held on. Job did not give up his trust in God. He waited until he came through, and God gave him even double what he had before. And let's look at the Israelites. At the time that they were stuck between the Egyptians pursuing them and then the Red Sea, they were in the middle. They could have jumped into the sea and been like, it would be better to just die by drowning than to be killed by these Egyptians. But they stood firm, and God came through. He parted the Red Sea for them to walk through it. So when things are hard and you don't see an end in sight, stand firm and trust God. That's all we are saying. We already said that you need to have a personal relationship with God so that when you're going through hard times, you can hear what God is telling you to do in the season. And we said that your relationship with God can even prepare you because God will speak to you sometimes and show you what to do so that when the hard times come, you would be prepared. We gave the example of when famine was about to hit Egypt and God gave somebody a dream. Joseph was called to interpret. They asked Joseph, what should we do now? And Joseph was able to help them prepare and survive that hard times. Sometimes God will give you a warning. God will send you an instruction of what to do so that when the hard times even hit, you will be strong and prepared. We also said that sometimes after you've done everything, things still don't change the way you expect them to. And we are saying that that is the time you should trust God and wait on Him until you hear from Him. Because if you don't hear from God and you do your own thing, you're going to get your own results. And the hard times is not when you're going to start trying to build a personal relationship with God. You should have built that already. You don't build a relationship for hard times. You build a relationship with God because you need it for life. And as a Christian, you must have a relationship with your Father so that He can speak to you and then you can hear Him. So when you've done everything that you know to do and things still haven't changed, you got to stand firm. You got to hold on to your faith because God does not work according to your schedule. God works according to His schedule. So stay strong and wait because God can be trusted and He will not leave you alone to suffer. And we should remember that these are not all the points, so there is more. Okay, the other thing that you can do when you're going through hard times is that do not suffer in silence. Speak to somebody you can trust. A lot of times we are told that don't share your marital struggles with anybody because sometimes you become a laughing stock or sometimes people will use your issues against you and all kinds of things. They are all well and true. But it's important to remember that when you're going through particularly hard times, sometimes it's best to talk to somebody you can trust. It's important that you pick that person carefully and you pick that person prayerfully because there's nobody better to advise you than somebody who has been through that situation before. So it's important that when things become overwhelming, do not suffer in silence. Find somebody that you can really trust and talk to them because you will be surprised that that thing that you think is so overwhelming that nobody has been through before, that this will be the end of you. You'll be surprised that you will talk to somebody and that person can reassure you and let you know that, hey, I've been there. It is tough, but you won't die. You will make it. And sometimes they will even share with you how they overcame that situation. So it even gives you hope that if this person could survive the situation, then I can too. And sometimes whatever they share with you to do, it helps you to calm down and it helps you to be able to stand strong. So that's why the fact that you shouldn't go telling everybody your troubles and trying to find sympathy with everybody. Sometimes it's good to find one or two people that you can trust, that you know they can help you, to talk to. Because a lot of times, after you've discussed your problem with somebody who's been there before, or somebody who is mature in the Lord, somebody who has a kind of mentor status in your life, it helps you know that you are not alone. It helps you know that if somebody survived it, you can survive it too. And there's nothing more comforting than knowing that something that is happening to you that you think it's the end of you, somebody else has gone through it and survived. And it's a wealth of information the person can give you to help you navigate your own situation. So, after you've prayed hard, after you've waited on God to hear what God has to say, sometimes it's also good to talk to somebody who's been there before. Talk to somebody that you know is mature, because a lot of times God works through people. Don't die in silence. Don't sit there and become overwhelmed. Because as human beings, sometimes the very fact that you can talk to somebody alone helps you to let go of a lot of the pressure and a lot of the stress. We were not made to be alone. We were not made to shy away from getting help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Tell somebody, hey, I really need you to stand with me in prayer. I really need you to help me. This situation that I'm going through is overwhelming me. Ask for help. Don't sit by yourself and think that you shouldn't share your situation with anybody. It's not going to help you. Even if you share your situation with somebody you trust and it doesn't end well, the very fact that you were able to share with somebody alone, it lessens the pressure on you. Sometimes it is shame. You see, sometimes people want to project this image of their marriage. They want everybody to think that their marriage is perfect. They want everybody to think that they are the best couple on earth. There is no best couple on earth, and it's not a competition. Your goal is to enjoy your married life and to fulfill purpose in your marriage. So if there's anything threatening you, find help. Speak to somebody who's been there before. Speak to somebody who is ahead of you. Don't sit by yourself and stew in your problems. It won't help you. And people who are mature, when you share your problems with them, sometimes you will be surprised what they themselves are going through. One thing that really saddens me is that in the society that I come from, people don't like to say the truth. They would rather paint a very nice picture of their marriage to you than admit that, oh, we've been there before. It happened to us before. And this is what we did. The way to find who you can confide in is that even during normal times, those people will tell you the honest truth. So that when you're in trouble, you know who will tell you the truth and who will lie to you. For me, I evaluate everybody around me. I know the people whose opinions I can trust, and I know the people that I shouldn't even listen to for a minute, and I know the people that I just look at their faces and smile. You should be able to take good stock of the people around you so that when you're in trouble, you know who to call. Don't just call anybody, but also do not die in silence. Speak to somebody. Speak what's going on with you. Even when you don't find a solution, at least that pressure, that stress will be lessened. It's better to speak your issues and find relief than to let it bottle up in your head. Sometimes when you are worrying about something in your head, You can magnify the thing so bad that it looks way worse than it is. But when you're able to talk to somebody about it, even when they don't give you the solution you are expecting or the solution that you need, sometimes they can ask you a few questions that will help you put things into perspective. And then you begin to realize that, oh, okay, it wasn't as bad as I was thinking. Maybe I didn't look at it this way, but it's always good. Talk to somebody. Do not die in silence. And don't just call anybody, call the one that you know you can trust. The time that you're in trouble is not the time that you look for new people to talk to. Go to the old trusted ones that you know. And they being human, sometimes they could even disappoint you. But hey, there's no medal for dying in silence. Don't sit down and sit in your problems. Talk to somebody. Even if you don't find a solution, you will let off some steam and you let off some stress. Okay. So another thing you can do when you're going through hard times as a married couple is that you shouldn't be afraid to take the hard decisions. One thing that I find really fascinating is that sometimes as adults, we are afraid to take the decisions that we need to take. Let's say you've lost a job and you need to cut back on your spending. Let's say you used to be able to afford a lot. You had a certain kind of status, and you know there are some societies that status really matters to them. And then you feel like, well, I don't want to change the things that I wear because people will know that I don't have as much money as I used to have. Really? You got to do what you got to do when you are in hard times. You got to be able to take those decisions that you need to take when you are in hard times. It's important that you forget about what people around you want. It's important that you forget about what other people are going to think. It's important that you sit down with your partner or sit down by yourself and decide how to move forward. There may be decisions that will be hard to take, but you got to sit down and take them anyway. Problems do not go away by themselves, they go away with planning, they go away with executing the plans that you made, and they go away with you being firm and you holding on during the hard times. As an adult, your biggest responsibility is to be able to take decisions for yourself. Do not care what anybody wants. Do not care what anybody thinks. Care about fixing what you need to fix. Let your shame fly out the window because people use shame to control you. Maybe you had a big car, now you have to downsize. And you are thinking if you downsize, then people will think that these people, look at them, they're falling from grass to if they're falling from grace to grass. And so what? And so what? What people think about you should never be your problem. You should think what you need and what makes your life meaningful. When you do good, people will talk. When you do bad, people will talk. Whatever you do, people have something to say about it. Make sure that you tune out the negative voices. In fact, you may want to tune out all the voices because when you are in especially tough times, it's hard to focus. So when people are saying things left and right, it may even affect you. It's important that you just tune out and sit down, take the hard decisions. Do what you got to do. Have a plan of how you're going to fix this. And once you have the plan, keep working it until you get to the point that you need to get to. Forget about what people think. Forget about what people want. Focus on doing what you got to do. As an adult or as a human being, if you are not able to overlook what people want and what people think and do what you need to do, your life is going to be miserable. This is a lesson you need to learn for always. Teach it to your children. It is not about the people around you, it's about you and your God. Be bold enough to do for yourself what you need to do. Don't be scared what people are going to think. They don't care that much anyway. They are too busy thinking about their own issues. Do what you need to do what you got to do, and move on. If you're going to spend your life worrying about what people think and what people want, you will not get very far. If you need to downsize, downsize. If you need to make changes, make those changes. When people ask you silly questions, answer them silly answers. Do what you got to do so that they will back off, because sometimes people can be real bullies. Sometimes the things that people can say to you can even make you so like heartbroken. You got to be tough when you have to be tough. Success has many friends. Failure has no friends. If you lose people because you were doing what you had to do to survive, don't worry about those people. The minute you are successful, they will all come back. So don't be afraid of losing friends, people looking down on you. For me, if I don't think you are positive influence in my life, I'll cut you off, and I'll cut you off fast, because you are not God. It's only God that I need to maintain in my life. So any human being that is becoming a distraction, that is not helping me be who I need to be, you're gone. And I don't care what you think, and I don't care what you want. What I care about is what I believe is good for me and my family, and is good for me and my marriage. So if you become a hindrance in my life, I am totally sorry. You will go, and you will go quickly. And I believe that we all need to get to that place where we are not interested in keeping up appearances, but we are interested in doing what we have to do to survive. Nobody's telling you to go wash your dirty linen in public, but don't succumb to the pressure. Be strong. Take those hard decisions, and don't bother what anybody wants or what anybody thinks. Do what is best for you. That's your biggest responsibility as an adult. Okay, I think we're done with that. And also, to survive hard times, save money. Save money. Always have some money somewhere that you can fall on. You never know when you will need some money inputs for anything. It's not wise to spend everything that you earn. It's not wise to invest everything that you have. You need to have some safety money. Save up on save some money that you can access in an emergency. When you need money to do something, save some money that you can have. It is not wise, I repeat, to invest all your money. Neither is it wise to spend all your money. Save money. It's important to invest. It's important to spend on important things, but it is also even more important to save money for the things that you need to do. Because sometimes, let's say you lose a job, you're going to have to be able to take care of yourself for as long as you are looking for the next job. Or let's say your business is not doing so good. You have to have something to fall back on until that situation is over. So please do save money. Don't invest all your money, and don't spend all your money. Have that backup. And I believe that is going to help. Another thing that you can do for your marriage to help you survive hard time is to build community. There are some people that like to keep to themselves. They do things only for themselves and they don't associate with other people. It's important that you build community. Be there for other people. Have people that you call your friends. Have people that you're there for them all the time. Because by doing that, you are making savings in friendships. When you are there for people when they're going through their hard times, many of those people will be there for you when you're going through hard times. And it doesn't mean that you make friends just because you want people to help you in hard times. No. But as people, we are communal human beings. It is not healthy not to have friends. If you don't have friends, it's not good. If you don't have people that you regularly help, it is not good. And it's not about helping them as in you're giving them money or you are always doing something for them, but just having them in your life as community. You spend time with each other, you support each other if need be. It might not be monetary, it might not be material. It's just having a healthy community of people. People who will check on you when they haven't heard from you. People that you check on every once in a while. It's important that every family has community. Husband and wife have friends. Husband and wife have people that you share with. Every once in a while, you go visit, they come visit you, you attend their programs, they attend your programs. When you are isolated, if anything happens to you, it hits you harder and you are not able to cope. Sometimes it's some of these people in your community that can advise you, that you can talk to, that can be a support for you when you're going through hard times. So it's important that you build community. Have friends that you regularly meet up. Have friends who check on you. Have friends that you check on. Have friends that you are there for and who also can be there for you. Do not live your life in isolation because there's an African saying, there's a Ghanaian saying that one tree will break if they stand in the storm alone, but a group of trees will never break when they face the storm together. And the tree version is Jiakrojin Frama Ebu. If you stand alone in crisis, or if a tree stands alone in the storm, it will break. But if you're standing together as a group of trees, you all are able to withstand the force of the storm. So don't be a loner, don't be by yourself. Put yourself out there, get to know good people, let them get to know you. Be there for them, let them be there for you, so that if or when you go through hard times, there is somebody to catch you when you're falling, or there's somebody to support you, or there's somebody that you can count on. And you also offer the same thing to the people in your community. You also catch them if they're falling. You also support them when they need you. During hard times, you need community. So check on your friends, be there for them so that when you need help, you know who to call and you know who to support you. And that will help you get through hard times. It's never a good idea to be a loner. It's never a good idea to be by your side, by yourself, sorry. So we also said that growing apart can cause hard times in marriage. You can be there and then one person will just get up and say, I want divorce. How did that happen? What was going on that you didn't know about each other? So that's the next point that we're going to address. You need to be able to grow together as a couple. Check in with each other often. And don't outsource being a support for each other to other people. There are some people that have substituted their friends as support because their partners are stubborn. When you ask your partner for help and they are not willing to give it to you, most of the time you just depend on your friends and you get things done because it's easier to get your friends to help you. But that's not a healthy thing to do. The more you support each other, the more you plan together, the more you respect each other, the more you put time and effort into your marriage, the better you are able to work as a team. And by doing that, you are also preventing growing apart. You are also preventing waking up one day and deciding, I just want a divorce. That should never happen to anybody. So grow together, be on the same page with each other. If it means that every year you attend a marriage seminar just to refresh your marriage, or you just talk to each other, do so. One thing that I find really sad is that I don't know what the devil is doing, but most of the time when wives talk and they say, this is what we need. Oh, Dr. Botte says, yep, yes, whatever you're saying yes to, I agree, Dr. Botte. Yeah. Sometimes when a wife says, oh, honey, I don't like it when you do this, or it really hurts me when you do that. And as a husband, you're like, this is really flimsy. This shouldn't be causing this. No, no, no. Wrong answer. Take each other seriously. If your husband is telling you that I don't like these things, take him seriously and do what you need to do, or do what you can do, or let them know that, okay, I know you don't like this, but I can't help it. At least come to a compromise and make sure that you're taking them seriously. If your wife tells you this thing that you're doing, I don't like it, don't pretend you didn't hear. Don't just forget about them and keep doing what you're doing. Because if you keep annoying each other, there'll come a time that one person will be fed up, one person will be tired and be like, you know what, let's move on. It happens all the time. So take each other seriously while you still can, before things get to a place where you can no longer fix. Because the longer you take to fix issues, the worse they get. And after a certain point, it doesn't even help to fix them anymore. So please grow together, support each other, spend time on your marriage, and take each other seriously. Give each other the respect that you need. If one party says, I don't like this, take them seriously. Do not dismiss them and act like it's nothing, because those are the ways that you gradually break down your marriage without knowing. And by the time you're aware, you got into a point of no return. Fix things before they get too bad to fix. So, another way you can survive hard times is to communicate about everything. You don't want to think or assume that your partner is on the same page with you. It's important to talk about it. As you talk about it, if you're on the same page, you would know. Never assume that it should be fine with your partner, because men and women, we are different. And sometimes the things that are important to men, they are not as important to women. And the things that are important to women, they are not as important to the men. But what you want is to be able to capture each other's priorities in whatever that you're doing. So, as much as you want your needs met and your issues addressed, you should know that the other party also wants their needs met and addressed. So, communicate about everything. It's very sad that sometimes one party will take all the decisions and just move along with it and think that the other party should be okay. And this often happens because if if one party is taking the decisions and they think, oh, this is a very good idea and I'm doing it for both of us, so we should both be happy. No, that's not how it works. That's how it works in your mind. But there are two people in this equation. You should be able to sit down and agree. You should be able to see things from each other's perspective. Because if you think in your mind that what you are doing is good and then you just go ahead, the other person may not see it that way. You're a man, she's a woman, different priorities. So it's important that you capture each other's priorities. And the only way you can do that is communicate. Communicate so that you both know what you're doing and you can both support it equally. Because if it's only one party getting their priorities addressed, you can be sure that it is whoever is getting their priorities addressed who will be passionate about the whole project. The other party will check out or think that, hey, you know what, there's nothing in this for me. Let me just sit and watch. If you do not want that to happen, if you want to be a team, communicate clearly about everything so that both of you can have your priorities addressed and you can work together as a team. Don't cheat your partner out of having their say or having their priorities addressed. The fact that you mean well does not give you the right to decide unilaterally. That is wrong on every level. Communicate and get agreement first. Amen. Okay. So this is where we are bringing our discussion to a close. If you've had any question, you can bring it up. But so far, we've talked about how to survive hard times in marriage. And we've said that despite the fact that many couples look perfect, there is no perfect marriage. Every marriage goes through hard times. And we said that the biggest thing that will help you through hard times is your personal relationship with God. Because at a time when you're giving each other trouble, the best place to run and hide is in God. So don't forget your relationship with God. You should also, Dr. Bote says, Amen. Amen, Dr. Bote. Don't forget your relationship with God. And also make sure that you understand that everybody goes through hard times. So pray, take the hard decisions, talk to somebody if you must, and know who to talk to. Keep your community. And we've said a whole bunch of other things. So I hope that by the grace of God, you picked a thing or two. If you have any suggestions, you can type them. If you have any thing to add, just type them in. So until we meet again, God willing, next week, 6 p.m. Central Time, let's not forget that it takes a good Christian to have a good Christian marriage. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye.